Yeah, I mean, the movie is really effective trying to show the problem, but also some like victories. You know that metales y derivados, this agreement for cleaning up the factory. Yes, now the factory is clean. So actually, this area full of is like a batteries recycling is over. It's no complete victory, but if you go to the area, what you see now is like a soccer field for the workers, industrial area, and but the original idea, what the Colectivo Chilpancingo actually wanted, is that the Mexican government enforced the original sort of like one of the points of the Maquiladora program originally. This is the pollution, the material that is hazard trash should be returned to the United States, but that didn't happen. Only part went to Arizona, another part went to central Mexico, and a place that is called San Luis Potosí. But most of the lead remain in the area for years. Specialized company. Well, it's inside a box, a concrete box, with primer and with a very sophisticated system. So it's there, and there is a guarantee that there's not going to be any leaking for 100 years. And supposedly they are sort of like a check every 6 months that is still the case. My understanding is in the last couple of years they haven't done because the recession, no money, and these kind of things. So it's there, but I mean, it definitely is absolutely different from what's happening.
But as in the film mentions, this contamination continues to happen. There's maquiladoras that continue to work there, that exist there, and this is a daily occurrence in the lives of many of these people, the lives of these communities. So it's a problem, and that's one of the goals of our organization, Olin Cali, along with SD Solidarity Network, Maquiladoras, is to bring awareness of what's going on in Tijuana and of all these health, environmental consequences. So the organization organizes tours, Maquiladora tours, and we bring groups of people to the industrial park area to show the working conditions of the workers and to bring you closer to the struggles of their lives, of their daily lives. We also have events like this where we show the film and sometimes we bring workers, former Maquiladora workers or current Maquiladora workers to talk about their experience working there. We also have workshops in which we invite workers and other people that are interested to talk about health and safety issues in the workplace. And there's also law students that give legal advice to workers that are facing issues at the time that were fired or whatnot. So we're very involved in the community of these workers, and we also try to build bridges between workers and community activists in San Diego and Tijuana, because the way we view it is that this problem, this issue, is not only a problem in Tijuana, but it's a problem for San Diegans as well. And we should we promote that people become involved and activists as well in this issue. So also we're a nonprofit organization. So a lot of the work that we do, we depend a lot on donations and volunteer work from students. The members of the organization are activists, community activists, students, academics, former workers, like I said, current Maquiladora workers. So if you guys there's a sign-up sheet here that I'll pass around. If you guys are interested in receiving information about the Maquiladora tours or any other events that we hold, you guys can sign your name and your email address maybe. So, any questions? Comments about the film? What did you guys think about the film?
I got kind of lost there. Now, did I see a bunch of people getting on a bus? Was they taking them to work in Tijuana, or were they bringing them over here?
Those are the Maquiladora tours that we hold. So what we do is take people to the Parque Industrial, which is the industrial area where the maquiladoras are found in the area of Tijuana, to show people, to familiarize them with the way they're organized, the maquiladoras. So that's what that was.
They weren't going to work?
They weren't going to work. The people outside that were walking.
There was a bunch of Hispanic people on a bus.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't it that there are buses that go to the colonies to pick up their work or something into Maquiladora?
That also happens, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of the workers, there's buses that go to the communities and pick them up and then take them to the maquiladoras and then back. Yeah.
To what extent has the industry moved away from Tijuana? Because she was explaining already that they've gone to foreign countries. Are there still any left? The way it was described.
Well, I mean, so it has been a really wild industrialization of the city. So the sort of like at the point where Tijuana had more maquiladoras was in the year 2000. So and at that year, sort of like the Mexican government, particularly the government of Tijuana, they were so happy thinking that the future was going to be just like have a bunch of maquiladoras everywhere, you know. And then, well, you have the one of recession here in the U.S. and China entering to the World Trade Organization, and was impossible to compete for the maquiladoras in Tijuana because the wages, my understanding is that the wages in China pretty much were like 30% of the wages in Tijuana. No? So after the big recession in 2001, was a little recuperation, but like an average, something that we could say that for the year 2000 to the present, essentially the maquiladoras are exactly the same number. So no less maquiladoras, no more maquiladoras. Many maquiladoras go, many maquiladoras come, but they are sort of like a standard. Now, that's really, really important, the development of the electronic industry, particularly in China, no? Because I don't know if you are familiar with the strikes happening, especially in Foxconn City in southern China, no? So that they had, I mean, after a number of workers commit suicide, so this Taiwanese corporation tried to stop the suicides and so actually what happened is the strikes increased the wages in China, so maquiladoras are returning. So there is sort of like a hoping from the industrial sort of like advocates to that in the future we are going to have like a new boom of maquiladoras. That's a little scary, you know. So that's sort of like the situation. Now we have Foxconn in Mexico. Actually, Foxconn has taken over for example, the biggest maquiladora in Tijuana was Sony, and now is part of the corporation Foxconn. So that essentially means that the labor conditions are going to really drastically decrease, and we are going to have some kind of explosions similar to the ones that happen in Ciudad Juarez. Do you know that there is another Foxconn facility in Ciudad Juarez, the sister city from Tijuana, which has the highest number of workers in Mexico in maquiladora industry. And essentially what happened is that the workers were so mad, and workers meaning these women, no, that they put fire to the factory. No? So the dining room was destroyed, and then they went with rocks against the sort of like the areas where the Taiwanese and Japanese managers live and destroy them. So they, and I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly what's the number of 40, 60 workers ended in jail, no? So that was like the welcoming of foxhole in Mexico, no? And now they are also here in Tijuana. They have Sanjo now is part, no, I'm sorry, Sharp, Sony, they are now part of the Foxconn Corporation, as well as this maquiladora that is called Munecata, recycling. So, I don't know, this is going to be really, things are moving really, many different directions.
What's the percentage of organized workers in Honduras?
Well, I mean, the sort of like the organization is different depending on the cities that you are talking about. In central Mexico, most of the maquiladoras, textile maquiladoras who were in the border, still there are some of them. But maquiladoras now, the textile, they are more in central Mexico, southern Mexico, trying to find even lower wages. And since they are in this area of central Mexico, and more experienced in terms of organization, struggle, historically speaking, so the chances for organizing are higher than here in Tijuana. Then you have the border and the East Coast, south of Texas. Also, they have had for many years important struggles. Historically speaking, is the area where the Mexican oil industry actually was born. Tijuana, on the other hand, is a city that essentially has pretty much like almost very new experience in organizing and struggle in industry. So there are like most of the workers have a union, but these unions are really special. If you want to open a maquiladora and you are a US or Japanese company, you don't do it by yourself. You need a sort of like a middleman, brokers, that they help you to handle all the complex issues to put the maquiladora. And some of the decisions that they are going to ask you to make is to decide what union actually you want. So they have a menu, like Chrome, like Krog, different unions that, and essentially you decide. I mean, you actually could even have a sort of like like interview. So you interview the different union leaders, and you decide which one you like the most. And essentially, they are going to ask you to pay them the equivalent to one salary of a worker for 20 workers that you have. And so the company directly is going to pay the union. So when the workers enter to work, I mean, you have the union even before the company is open. So when the first workers come, so they have to affiliate to that union, and the union, you as a worker don't even pay dues. So the company directly pay to them, and the union is used by the company only essentially when the workers rebel, is when they find out that there is a union. Surprise! So you can't get any kind of legal representation because I am your leader. No? So and on other occasions also. But so for these conditions, actually, so we could say that most of almost like most of the maquiladora workers in Tijuana, they are pretty much completely vulnerable to the abuses by the corporations. Is not really current major like organizations working in the process of really creating an organization that is able to stop sort of like a big like a movement for changing everything that they want in labor conditions and salaries in the maquiladoras. The only thing that we have is like a little, like a worker centers, like Aulincali, like the workers information for male, for working men and women, no, SITAC, and little groups, no, like linked to, some of them linked to some like socialist organizations, trying to create like here and there some kind of like organization. So this is really small. At the same time, however, and this is really shocking contrast, we have at least every year, according to the official record of the government, more than 20,000 labor conflicts in the maquiladoras in Tijuana alone. So essentially that means that you have explosions every day. But since you don't have the organization capable to sort of like, I mean, because as a workers, it's the same story. They explode, they fight, they go to the government, they demand the company, and they lost the case. But when you have an organization capable to pass the experiences from one struggle to the next, so that this could be a better situation where the workers are able to resist or to confront with a little more chances to win that they are now. So it's sort of like the two sides are there. And it's like the way that we are in Mexico is really explosive, and it could be in any moment that you have really a big fire responding, resisting, could not. No? So that's the current situation. I don't know if I answered your question.
Any comments, questions?
The neighborhood with the bridge and the goats going over it and the electric wires and ground, has anything changed in that neighborhood at all?
A lot. It's completely different. So the Colectivo Chilpancingo for Environmental Justice, they were fighting to sort of like to clean up the creek, no? And to stop the maquiladoras, discharge all the chingadera that they put just right there. The government had a better idea. What the government actually did was simply to destroy completely the creek. So now it's a sewage system, no? So the government of Tijuana hired a company, a concrete company, and they just make a big canal. And now all the canal is just what you have. So all the trees that you have polluted and everything, they are gone. And it was really shocking for us because, I mean, we saw that was a lot of pollution. At least personally, I didn't realize how, even with all this pollution, how vital was all this environment until the government destroyed it. So bunch of trees disappeared, bunch of, I mean, in this river fishes used to live, some, a lot of different animals. Even you have a huge, now I know, a huge like a complex, sort of like environmental area for a lot of birds. Some birds who were migrating and some birds who are living there, the carpenter bird, and a lot of butterflies and insects of all the different kinds of styles, size, and colors, they are gone. Now it's completely sterile. It's just like a bunch of concrete there, no? And the idea is not only to have the concrete, but to create a huge new sort of like a highway that is going to link a third bridge between Tijuana and San Diego, exclusive for trucks, for 18-wheelers, that they are going to go from the US to go to Tijuana directly to an area that is called El Florido. This is an industrial area, an industrial park that plan is to make it huge, hoping that the Chinese things are going to happen. You know? So it's that the plan that is now in place. Actually, Lourdes, she lives very close to the river. I mean, and now there are chances that her house is going to be just destroyed by the new highway, or if not, her house is going to be here. Literally speaking, the house is going to be here, and the freeway is going to be here. So, so that's sort of like now the struggle that Colectivo Chilpancingo is working on is at least to avoid that the part of the because this creek, this river, the Rio Alamar, actually is a long river. It's born far east and then go through Tecate and enter to Tijuana, and eventually it's going to end in the estuary here in the Pacific Ocean. So and the creek actually make a lot of like it's moving like that, no? Sometimes in the US, sometimes in Mexico, it's completely binational. And when enter to Tijuana, it's still alive, you know? It's still in an area that has a little forest. The water is clean. Well, I am not going to drink from this water, but pretty nice, no? And fishes and a lot of life. And I don't understand why the government has in mind the idea of canal, also this part, to make a big concrete. Probably they have a company that wants to sell concrete, like or something like that. And so because of the Colectivo Chilpancingo was fighting really strong for defending at least this part, together with other organizations, with the Colectivo 10 de Mayo, actually they live just right there in this area. The government said, okay, what we are going to do is that we are going to respect the area. That's a great idea. So the creek is here. Okay, you don't want us to destroy this area. Okay, take your trees, take whatever you want. We are not going to take this land. The only thing that we are going to do is to detour the water. The water is not going to come here. It's going to go there, and we are going to take it to the canal. How the trees are going to live without water? It's like a ridiculous. But this organization from San Diego, the Environmental Health Coalition, and in Tijuana, the Colectivo Chilpancingo for Environmental Justice, they are fighting. And there are chances that they are going to win, that at least this part is going to be respected. The other part, if you go to one of the other tours and you go there, you are not going to recognize the bridge with the boats cross, and there is no there anymore.
All the people living there, were they displaced to another location, or?
Yeah, the bulldozers enter and just take a bunch of people who were living near to the river, no? They offer, I mean, the government of Tijuana offered them a new land to build the house, but where one of the places that were offered to them was El Nido del Águila, like an eagle nesting. And this little is really far, no? So, and it's a land without anything. Forget about electricity or whatever, nothing. So the workers, I mean, I guess they accepted the land there, but what they did is that they returned to the area, and now they are living in like the undocumented workers in San Diego. So it's like a little apartment. You have a bunch of families together, just trying to be close to the job